I am on a mission to play every single Resident Evil game for the first time. However, I will complete each game with a different challenge. And today I'm gonna play Resident Evil Revelations 2 for the first time. And the challenge is to finish the game with an S rank without running and without dying. So, will I be able to complete this challenge? Let's find out. Like any other no running challenge, the first thing that I wanted to do was to unbind my run key, cause I didn't want to run by mistake and ruin my challenge. And just like Revelations 1, the controls in Revelations 2 are funky. Unlike other Resident Evil games, Revelations 2 has 3 moving speeds: walking, jogging, and sprinting. And since jogging is what's considered running in other Resident Evil games, I am only allowed to walk. And thankfully, unlike Revelations 1, I easily removed the jogging key and the sprinting key, and walking was set to W. Also, I am not allowed to use the left and right strafe movements as they pretty much have the same moving speed as jogging. So, since you know what the rules are for this challenge, let's just dive right in. The game starts with some goofy ad about some company that is called TerraSave. We then get a flashback on the city of Terra Grigia, which leads to your average corporate dinner party. Middle-aged Claire pulled up to the party and some random alternative kids started jumping and waving at her, then proceeded to femininely salute her, and Claire had to explain to her boss that this weird teenager is actually Barry Burton's kid. We then got raided and kidnapped. Claire woke up in some cell, and after this door magically opened, we officially started our challenge. Now you notice that I have 2 green herbs and an explosive bottle. These are not possible to have on a fresh new game. You see, this is actually my second playthrough of the game. I first played the game off camera to see if it would be interesting to do a no running challenge on it. I was looking for sections where running is quote unquote required. So after I came to the conclusion that no running would make for a great challenge, I went back to start a fresh new game, and I couldn't. You see, for some reason, it is impossible to start a fresh new game in Revelations 2. Your only option is New Game Plus. All your weapons, inventory items, upgrades, and skill levels carry over to your new game. Moira even has her flashlight and crowbar right after you meet up with her, which is not the case on a fresh new game. Actually, the only way to start a new game is through the chapter select menu. So for my second playthrough, I had to start with all my weapons and upgrades. Obviously, I could have just not used the other weapons, but trust me, doing this challenge on New Game Plus did not change the status of certain sections from impossible to do without running to possible to do without running. Having all those weapons and upgrades only made it slightly easier to complete and 10 times more fun. And you're gonna see later in this video that I rarely engage in combat, so it's not like my upgraded weapons carried me or anything. So after finding Moira, our new mission was to escape the facility. So we continued tiptoeing our way through the area, broke some glass with our bare hands, and then proceeded to walk nonchalantly because we are just chill like that. And in this area, I discovered the strat that made this challenge possible. Hey yo, crouching is so fast. So apparently, crouching has the same movement speed as jogging. Actually, I think it might be slightly faster. So from now on, we are going to be using the crouch strat. Continuing our pushy endeavors, some guy pulled up and jump scared us, but we gave him the downtown London treatment. We then stumbled upon a Discord mod in his kitten, and something tells me that we were supposed to run after them. So we did the exact opposite. Then this lady pulled up all limpy and whatnot and told us that it was her time of the month and we needed to support her through that time. And me being the sweet guy that I am, I did what any other male would have done in this situation. Ew, call me when you're done. I quickly ran away to go shower with an AOCL, tried stealing this guy's keys but the pendejo fell to the ground, went down, got the key and easily dodged this weirdo, went back up, got slapped by this guy and dodged the other one, juked the remaining weirdos and casually walked out. Now you notice that some doors have opening animation, during which I become invincible and my partner get teleported to me provided that there were no obstructions between us. And also, enemies can't open these doors. Now this is what I call the door strat, and I am going to abuse the hell out of it in this playthrough. There were sections in this game where the door strat was so good it was basically illegal. So after we made it back to this door and used the key to open it, Moira helped us with this door and we made it to the main block. Then some lady started talking to us through our bracelets, telling us that she's the overseer or whatever, but as usual we just didn't care. So we continued investigating the area, found this glowing cog that we clearly needed. Claire helped Moira up so she could open the locked door from the other side. This guy grabbed us, but we pushed him straight at Moira, introducing the third strat in this challenge, the partner strat. You see, your partner, aka Moira, is 1. Unable to die, 2. Regenerates health, and 3. Attracts monsters almost as much as yourself, meaning you can use your partner to tank hits for you or keep other enemies busy while you do your thing, which is another strategy that I abused the hell out of. And not even a minute later we discovered another strat, the pretend that they don't exist strat. You see, for some reason, if you continued crouching and never looked back, enemies just never catch up with you, and sometimes they even lose aggro, even though some enemies can sprint. Anyways, we casually juked this guy, got the rusty key and used it on this door, helped Moira up so she could turn the electricity back on, went back the way we came from and watched these goofballs die by their own traps, got our first kill on this guy because why not, casually ran away from these very scary monsters, made it back to this area and activated this machine to get the cog we needed, and took our literal first shot in this entire game. Like, this is the end of this section, and this shot wasn't even necessary. This guy always dies from this trap. I just used my shotgun because I wanted to kill him faster. I told you having all my weapons wouldn't be OP or anything. And now we reached the hardest segment in this entire game, and it's not hard because of the no running challenge. This segment is hard, period. So what you want to do is start this cutscene using Moira, and after the cutscene ends, immediately go for the door, start the opening animation and switch back to Claire, and hope to God you can survive. You see, the reason I started the door opening animation then switch back to Claire, because 1, the AI won't do it, and 2, you need to protect Moira until she manages to open the door, because enemies will be on her booty the entire time, and you can't just distract them or train them away from Moira because they know that they need to be going for Moira. Finally, Moira. Oh, please, I don't want to do this again. Please, Claire, I beg you. Woo! iframes for the win, baby! So after escaping the prison, we had a little chit chat with the overseer, hung up on her and continued running away, made it to this communication room and started the last cutscene in the first section of episode 1. During said cutscene, we discovered that we were on a deserted island, then finished the first section of episode 1 with an S rank. The second section starts as Barry was pulling up to the island 6 months after the incident. We then meet the most adorable kid in the world, Natalia. Look how adorable she looks in that outfit. Our mission for this section is to head for the communication tower in hopes of finding Moira. So after Barry and Natalia made it inside of the prison, we discovered that Natalia has this special power that allows her to sense enemies and point at hidden items as well. Hey yo, look, Barry, look, enemy. Hey yo, Barry, look, enemy, look, hey yo, look. Natalia pointed and Barry eliminated. In a classic Uncharted fashion, we carried this box to use it to climb to a higher area. Natalia grabbed this key, crawled to the other side and opened the door for Barry. We made it to the same area where Moira and Claire were 6 months ago, and then I discovered that Barry and Natalia were stacked. I mean, look at that inventory. Unlike Claire and Moira, freaking brokies. Making our way through the prison, we reached this area where we had Natalia crawl to the other side to turn the electricity off in order to deactivate the traps, went back the way we came from and walked past this now inactive trap. What does this valve do? Oh, that was Low-key, our exit. Okay, turn it back off. Turn it back up. Oh, now that's crazy. Now what? Okay, F. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Please don't tell me that I could have just used this with Claire and Moira. Apparently, yes, I could have. After easily escaping the prison, the game forced us to look at the tower as if we don't already know where it is. But upon reaching the bridge, we discovered that it is broken and we can't just jump to the other side. So we had little Natalia crawl to the other side of this door and break the lock using a rock in order for Barry to get to the other side. What are you gonna do with that rock, huh? Are you gonna break the lock? So adorable. And when we reached this area, the game let us know that it was not expecting us to activate this cutscene while crouching. Hey yo, Barry, you're good, bro. Ooh, big monster. What would I ever do? Whoop, his animation finished before they switched cameras. Going inside this cabin and trying to open the door, Natalia tells us that there's a scary monster right behind us. But when we took a look, there was nothing. So we ignored the little kid and we continued trying to open this door, and it was not a good idea. So after apparently getting hugged to death, we eliminated the threat and ran away as fast as we could. Now in this area, you really need to kill every single enemy because otherwise you're gonna get hugged over and over up until you're dead. Unlike in normal gameplay where you just sprint past them, this time you really need to kill them. There's a very easy way to eliminate these types of enemies, but unfortunately at this stage of the game I did not know about it. But I believe like on episode 3 I learned it and it made my life way easier.
Those freaks had some of the same symptoms as Ouroboros.
Robo?
Okay, Natalia, you know that you're an adorable kid and I love you and whatnot, but there is no way you heard Ouroboros as Obo Bobo. Ain't no way, just ain't no way. In this area, the game introduces the flame bottle, which has the ability to insta-kill these monsters. So I went ahead and I used the explosive bottle instead, which as you guys guessed, it did not insta-kill them. But the iframes came with the clutch. We then made it to this cabin and found the supplies needed in order to make a flame bottle, which is basically the game telling us that we are about to fight some people. We continued our journey to get to the communication tower, but there was this big shackled gate that was preventing us from getting there. So our next objective was to find a way to break it open, and that way was right behind us. Then some monsters busted through an area that was previously locked, which is video game lingo for this is where you need to go, buddy. Oh my god, yes, Natalia, beat him up, you freaking hero! I freaking love you! And in this cabin we found a generator for the big crane we needed, and in the other side, after casually walking past this guy, we found the lever that activates the crane. My little hero fought the big scary monster off as I ran away. Barry and Natalia safely made it to the other side. Then we finally made it to the communication tower and activated the last cutscene in episode 1, during which Natalia tells us that Moira is dead, finishing episode 1 with an S rank. Ah, come on. Even though I felt like I was going really fast, after rewatching my footage, I knew where I lost time. You're so adorable. You're so adorable. Ah, look at Natalia holding a rock. Ah, look at Natalia throwing a rock. Ah, look at Natalia existing and shit. So after restarting the section with the intention to stop being a loving father, I quickly escaped the prison and immediately activated this guy by staring at this area, used the correct bottle this time and quickly turned on the generator and activated the crane. And even though I found myself in the middle of a hugging festival, I managed to make it to the communication tower fairly quickly, finishing episode 1 with an S rank. And yes, I shaved 6 minutes by not being a good father. Going back to Claire and Moira, they found themselves in this abandoned saloon with a couple of their Terra-safe co-workers. Then the overseer told us that she injected us with a special virus that only triggers at the state of extreme terror. So after following this guy who clearly has the hots for Claire since he wouldn't move unless she was near him, he told us that he could fix this helicopter provided that we give him a battery and some fuel. So our next objective was to get what he needed. By helping Moira up this ladder, we managed to go inside of this house and find the battery, sat there and watched as Moira got beaten up, made it to this wall that needed a drill to demolish, stumbled upon our friend Pedro who conveniently found a drill laying around, then proceeded to drill some random wall just because he wanted to waste our time. For some reason I needed to go inside and read this note and go back out in order for Claire to tell him that he needs to drill the other wall, and when we finally managed to get him to start drilling the correct wall, some pendejos pulled up and scared little Pedro wouldn't start drilling unless we took care of them for him. Aww, Pedro, you're a grown man, just drill with your mouth shut. And when Strawberry Shortcake finally demolished the wall, we got the fuel and went back to our friend to give him what he needed. Someone started playing The Weeknd on the megaphone, so we needed to hurry back and turn that shit off, but unfortunately the teenagers that listened to him were not very happy. Now for this Resident Evil 4 cabin section wannabe, I usually switch to Moira and run from window to window with the crowbar to save on ammo, but since running was not allowed, I did my best to save as much ammo as I could. Hey yo, Moira, trust me, he's dead. Buttercup then got so scared that the virus triggered in him, but since the virus doesn't increase your intelligence, Infected Pumpkin was just as dumb as normal Pumpkin. So after escaping the saloon, we looped around this area up until our boss came and lowered this ladder for us. We quickly climbed the ladder and sat there for like 2 business days waiting for Moira to climb up. And when she finally made it up, we booked it and never looked back. Made it to this locked door that our boss climbed over and opened from the other side. But then this happened.
Eats danger for breakfast and craps it through here. Give me a hand.
Ain't no way I was quick enough to cut his dialogue off while crouching. I don't think the devs know how heavy rocks are. But yeah, sure, a woman, a teenager, and a scrawny guy are definitely able to pick up a rock. Then our boss told us that the reason he runs so fast was because he has a gym membership. Which is quite literally the most asinine sentence a person could ever put together.
I'm glad you're okay. Gabe said you guys got split up.
Yeah, but I run fast. Gym membership.
Oh, really? Buddy, you just want to tell Claire that you go to the gym. I mean, god damn, I would too. And upon reaching this area, we got to meet Resident Evil's most consistent enemy type, dogs. So similar to episode 1, we switched to Moira and started the door opening animation, then switched back to Claire and protected Moira from the dogs. Got Moira and Claire up the ladder only for more monsters to pull up. But our lovely simp of a boss kindly offered to train the enemies away from the ladies. Oh my god, you're like a hero or something. Come on, Claire, we out. And in this area where we were supposed to get ambushed and whatnot, we just used the door strat and iframes for the win, baby. So after pretending that this is a hitman silent assassin run, we found Natalia all along and we followed her to this area that might be the killer of this challenge. You see, after the game introduces this guy that soils your windshield, we eliminated a couple of enemies and made it to this lever that opens this gate. However, after a couple of seconds, the gate automatically closes, and crouching is not fast enough to get us through the gate before it closes. So I tried another strat, the spam dodging strat. Unlike Resident Evil 3 Remake, dodging in this game is really quick and its recovery time is fast as well. So I spammed the dodge button hoping to make it in time, but I couldn't. And by the way, the dodge spam spam strat is so OP that I only allowed myself to use it in situations where it is impossible to progress by just crouching. And there was only one section in this game that was impossible to complete with only crouching. Yet it was still very easy to complete without running by using the spam dodge strat. Since dodging didn't work in this area, I tried to get the AI to run towards me using the partner command mechanic, but yet again it did not work. I tried doing the door strat in order to teleport my partner to the other side of the gate, but even though the gate was open, the game still considered us to be separated from each other, meaning that there's an invisible line near the door that checks whether the two characters are in or out of this room, and if one of them is not in the room, then the game considered us to be separated. So I tried shoving myself against the gate in hopes that I touch the line and trick the game into thinking that both of the characters are inside of this room, but as you may have guessed, it did not work. So unfortunately, I took the L and I sprinted to get through the gate, but there was still one thing that I could try, which is to upgrade my dodging skill to its max level and try again later. So the no running challenge is still possible, but for now we're just gonna take our L and move on. So after making it to this elevator, we stood back and waited for these two idiots to do their thing. Casually hopped on the elevator and found Natalia upstairs, managed to catch up with her and watched as Claire questioned the little kid FBI style.
What's your name? Where are you from? Did that lady put you here? Where are you?
Whoa, down, Claire. Let me talk to her.
And after Moira baby talked to the kid, our little female posse just got a new member. Reaching this area where enemies can see you through the cutscene. Hey yo! We absolutely had to get rid of this guy before triggering the mini boss fight. Now this guy is very easy to eliminate provided that you have approximately 2 magazines inside of your submachine gun, but during this run I did not. Still, the fight was fairly easy cause after a couple of shots and a couple of boom booms, we put this guy to sleep, got rid of the remaining enemies and collected our kid, had her crawl to the other side of this door and open it. Our helicopter friend pulled up all happy saying that we're gonna get off of this island, but the helicopter malfunctioned and Claire proceeded to tell him to get out of there.
Gabe, get out of there!
Lady, what do you mean? And as Claire was yapping about her friend who just got blown up or whatever, I was more invested in the fact that our kid just got kidnapped. And when the posse finally started asking questions about the whereabouts of its third member, we got the news that we just finished the first section of episode 2 with an S rank. And for the second section, Barry and Natalia's mission was to get to the same tower where Natalia got kidnapped 6 months ago. So making our way through the woods, we made it to this area where the game taught us that sneak attacking these enemies is effective. And when we made it to these two patrolling guys, we waited up until they passed each other, then jumped over this window and eliminated the first guy and quickly ran after the other before he finished his route. Then we stumbled upon a couple more enemies which we easily sneak attacked with proper routing. We then got this box and used it to get up this cabin, stole this key and went back the way we came from using Natalia. I'm doing this because for some reason, when you get back using Barry, Natalia just refuses to follow you and just stand in this area doing absolutely nothing. And if you manage to get her to the other side then switch to Barry, she would just run back to this area and continue standing doing absolutely nothing. I don't know if this is a glitch or whatever, but it was really annoying. So after opening this gate with the key and making sure that Natalia was still following us, we made it to this area where the game introduced the invisible enemies that only Natalia could see. We didn't have to kill the first one since it wasn't blocking our way, but for the second one, we did. Natalia, did I mention that I love you? And after eliminating this guy, we made it to this cave/tunnel and learned that Natalia is a Terra Grigia kid.
So where are your mom and dad?
They died in Terra Grigia.
Aww. Continuing our journey, we put some enemies to sleep and abused the door strat. Then I finally discovered that this yellow orb that appears on this type of enemies is actually their weak spot, and I only needed to shoot it once to expose the weak spot and then shoot it again to fully kill them. Oh, look guys, this is a new type of enemy that we totally need to worry about. Ooh, look how scary he is. Whoop. Oh no! Iframes for the win, baby! And after some Resident Evil 2 get on the bus and use the other door to get to the other side, we continued abusing the living hell of the door strats. The monster's coming. Oh, no me digas, Natalia. Oh, really? Really? The monster's coming? No, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And who are you? Are you the monster that's coming? Wait a minute. I am the storm that is approaching. Fortunately, we didn't need to run in this area since Natalia can open the gate for Barry, then crawl through this opening to get to the other side of the gate.
No, higher! Shoot, please!
So we got Natalia, an adorable 8 or 7 years old kid who helps out and point invisible enemies and throws rocks and protects me and all that. And then we got Ashley, a 20-something years old useless excuse of a woman who is really good at turning valves and keeping them turned. Yeah, if you guys don't know, I really hate Ashley. That was the entire point. So as I continued yapping about how much I hate Ashley, Barry pushed a freaking helicopter off the building, which is basically him telling us that he's taking whatever Chris was taking in Resident Evil 5. Then Buttercup pulled up all drilly and whatnot and started beating my kid, which is where I drew the line. Oh, we're beating kids now, huh? Is that what we're doing? I never liked you, Buttercup. And after we got rid of Buttercup, we stole his drill, which we used on this wall to get outside, made it inside of the tower where we found a picture of Daddy Wesker with some random woman that, according to Natalia, is Daddy Wesker's sister, Alex Wesker. Then some crazy old lady pulled up and slapped the living hell out of Barry, which marked the end of episode 2 that we S-ranked. Moving on to episode 3, Claire found a letter from her boss telling her to go to some random factory, and upon arriving at the factory, Alex started doing her favorite thing, which is to yab at us through the bracelets. Then we found our boss's ID on the statue, which is actually a puzzle that needed 2 pieces to be solved. So we went inside of this building and got up the stairs, made it to this door and got inside and took the artificial eye which activated the trap, waited up until the spikes broke this statue, dropping the key we needed, quickly put back the artificial eye to deactivate the trap and got out, continued to pretend that these monsters don't exist and went back down and used the key to open this door, sent Moira to the laser room where she got the glass eyeball, went back up and replaced the artificial eye with the glass eyeball, used the artificial eye to open this door where we found the first piece of the puzzle that we put inside of the statue. And after using the artificial eye to get inside of the slaughterhouse, our mission to find the second piece had officially started. But first we needed to make sure this door was open because we're gonna need it on our way back. So when you make it to this area, this guy spawns, but you can just sneak past him with no issues. Then have Moira open this door while you wait, go inside and get the key, then quickly help Moira up so she could jump down and deactivate the machines, go back out and sneak past this guy to use the key on this door, which led to this area where we could find the last piece of the puzzle. What I love to do in this area is to have Claire climb this platform, then use the partner command mechanic to have her stay put up the platform, use Moira to turn on the machine, then turn it off at the right time for the meat to stop exactly above the machine for Claire to shoot it down, then repeat this process a couple of times until these 2 weirdos pull up, which I ignore up until they hit me, then try to distract them away from the machine so I could go back and continue doing my thing. Watch Moira get beaten up before dropping the last meat on the machine, got the last piece of the puzzle as Moira was still getting beaten up, and now it was time to escape the slaughterhouse. Now even though this guy was already aggroed and enemies were dropping through the ceiling and all that, we easily eliminated the enemies that were blocking our way, went through this door that we previously opened, and made sure to kill this guy because we couldn't walk past him since he would have just blown us up. And just like that, we safely made it out. So after putting the last piece and running away since this statue was gonna blow up, we went inside and made it to this area where we only had 5 minutes to escape. Was this the section that was impossible to complete with only crouching? Nah. I just quickly ran to this ladder, helped Moira up and used this valve to clear the way, switched to Moira and did the same for Claire, switched to Claire and did the same for Moira, purposefully got Moira slapped to make this challenge a little bit harder, used this box to go up as this guy was nonchalantly following us, turned the last valve for Claire, shot this guy before he even got up and sat there and watched as this guy still didn't manage to catch up with Moira, helped Moira up this pipe so she could make it to the other side and check which door is the correct one, had Claire open the correct door, then sat there and started teabagging since this section was really easy. Then Claire and Moira escaped to the facility, marking the start of the sewers section. This game really doesn't like it when I trigger cutscenes while crouching. After meeting this old guy that had no idea what was going on, he just opened the gate for us and told us to get out. And in this section I made the annoying discovery that whilst in water, I can't sprint, dodge nor crouch. The only button that allows you to move faster is the jogging button, which obviously I am not going to use. Anyways, after this guy pulled up, we quickly got rid of his little friend, then sat back and waited until he did his charge attack so we could just walk right past him. Then kept getting shot at while we were trying to run away, had Moira quickly open this door for us, then used the door strat to forget that this guy had ever existed. We then made it to this area where a bunch of enemies pulled up. I went right cause this plank always breaks, continued to ignore quite literally every enemy that pulled up, made it to this ladder where I had to wait for Moira to get close enough so I could use the door strat in order to teleport her booty right next to mine. We then completely skipped this puzzle since it's not necessary to progress in the game and got into this room where Claire found out that her boss sold them out and he was the one responsible for all of this island situation. We then watched Alex inject our boss with the virus, found him in this elevator tweaking his guts out, then transformed to whatever this is. Now the boss fight is really easy since 1, he doesn't seem to like Moira, 2, every single one of his attacks is extremely easy to dodge, and 3, he really doesn't like Moira. Actually, this fight is so easy that on my first ever playthrough I ran out of ammo and I defeated him crowbar only. So anyways, after defeating our boss and getting on the elevator, bro pulled up again and conveniently fell on top of Claire, and I purposefully with full conscious switched to Moira and had her shoot him, completely traumatizing this kid beyond recovery. So after Moira shot our boss and helped Claire up, we discovered that Alex had been watching us the entire time as he was conducting some sort of experiment on Natalia. Finally finishing the first section of episode 3 with an S rank. Going back to Barry and Natalia, the game suddenly told us that this disgusting old witch is none other than Alex Wesker. Barry and Natalia then ran away after a couple of enemies pulled up. Then our kid fell and twisted her ankle, so we carried her around fully knowing that this might threaten our S rank status. But thankfully Natalia then realized, so she got down and allowed us to start crouching to walk faster. We then continued our quest to see how many enemies we can ignore by the end of the game, got into the old man's room where we found him dead, and also found Moira's phone which had a goodbye voice note that was left for us by Moira. Then made it to this area that was clearly designed to be completed by 2 players. This entire section is basically you switching to Natalia, then in a painfully slow speed turn this valve to open the sluice for Barry, switch to Barry and walk for less than 100 meters only to switch back to Natalia and do the same. Occasionally shoot some obstacles to clear the way for Natalia only for her to continue doing the exact same thing. A couple of enemies then pulled up trying their best to make this section a little bit more fun. We learned that the invisible enemies could be seen through smoke, and finally turned the last valve and regrouped with Barry. Look at this guy. Alright buddy, here we go, huh? Happy? And after making it outside, our new mission was to track down Alex. So we found ourselves in this area where we disrupted this guy's lunch break, stumbled upon this elevator that needed some sort of power supply. We got a glimpse of some tentacle monster that we totally ignored, got into this room where we turned on the conveyor belts, then we got into the tentacle monster building where we found the power supply that we used the conveyor belts to get out of the building. Okay guys, look, in a second a very big tentacle monster is gonna pull up. Oh, this is so scary. I think I might be dead. Is this gonna be the end of this challenge, guys?
What the hell is that?
I love making games look easy. So after the tentacle monster ran away, we got out and continued to ruin other people's lunch breaks. Used our power supply to open this gate, then turned it into a makeshift ladder so we could go up and open this door from the other side. Transported our little power supply all the way up to the elevator, made it all the way up where I continued to collect silent assassin points, and after finding another power supply and trying to use it on this gate, the tentacle monster pulled up again, but this time he brought his friends. So in this fight, the first thing that you need to do is to get rid of this guy, since he's one of those I'm gonna poop on your windshield type of enemy. Then team up with Natalia to be the living hell out of the tentacle guy. So after getting rid of him and opening the gate, we resumed our mission to track down Alex, only for her to jump scare us and again slap the living hell out of Barry, then proceeded to choke Natalia, and in episode 3 with an S rank. And now we have officially reached episode 4, which is the last episode in this game. So after crouching all the way up until we reached this door, we went inside and finally found Alex, only for her to disconnect herself from the game. Then a self-destruct mechanism got activated out of nowhere because, this is a Resident Evil game, and as always we needed to find a way to get the hell out of there. But unfortunately our elevator was obviously out of service, so we needed to find another way to escape. Now the first part of the escape sequence is nothing too crazy, since Claire and Moira just got to meet the invisible box for the first time, went left to skip the first one, then used a smoke bottle to get rid of the other. And after going down we went right to avoid the one on the left, then hoped that we could guess this one's position without causing too much damage to our accuracy percentage. The real challenge, however, starts at the second part of the sequence, where we only have 5 minutes to escape. As you guys can see, I am using the dodge button every now and then to get by faster, cause on my practice run I already figured out that the second part is impossible to beat with only crouching. The time always ran out just before I got to the finish line, and because the spam dodging strat is considered a last resort, I opted for casual dodging to make sure that I beat the section with very little time left, which I did. But, and this is a huge but, even though I beat the sequence timer, I couldn't beat the section's clearance time. I was off by 2 whole minutes despite the fact that my route was decently optimized. And not just that, my accuracy percentage was garbage, which meant that I needed to get lucky when guessing the bugs positions. So I restarted the section and proceeded to spam the dodge button throughout the entire thing, used a combination of luck and smoke bottles to protect my accuracy percentage, and made it to the end with plenty of time left. Said my goodbyes to Moira, then jumped out, finishing the first section of the last episode 7 seconds away from losing my S rank.
You can make it, Claire! Hurry!
I got nothing to say. Now that we finished that section, we finally figure out why Barry is looking for Moira and not Claire and Moira, since Claire the pendeja left that kid to die. Going back to the present, we continued heading towards whatever place we were heading towards. And oh, here's a little pro tip for you. You see these 2 sluices? You can choose which sluice you want to be open for Barry using this lever in the previous section. The pro tip is just leave it the way it is by default, since the default route is faster than the other one, cause the other one has some Natalia crawl and open the door from the other side action. So after we made it up here, we quickly did the puzzle, then booked it, used the pretend that enemies don't exist strat plus the door strat for old times sake, made it to this elevator that brought us down to this area where the game introduced the toxic fumes dilemma. The fumes that if you inhaled for too long, you would end up dead. All you need to know regarding the fumes situation is that you can crouch through all of them except the second one. You do have to use the spam dodge and strat to get through it, meaning just like everything else, sprinting is not required. Making it to this area, you want to eliminate every single enemy because you don't want to risk them hugging you inside of the fumes and choking you out. Forget about these two areas and head for this one. Push this cart until you aggro this guy, then go back and take care of him. Hold your breath and crouch all the way to the end. And at this point, you guys are professionals and already know that the strat that I am currently doing is the pretend that they don't exist strat. You see, you guys are learning, that's cute. So after turning on the ventilation system, then go into this area to get the lift activation key. We used it to get down to this area where the machine recognized Natalia's handprint through the costume. We then made it to this sick mansion that provoked some Resident Evil 1 emotions inside of Barry that I knew nothing about since I haven't played the game. The mansion section is really easy, so I'm just gonna speedrun it for you. So come on, let's take it from the top. Once we make it inside of the mansion, go left, take care of these two guys, the Resident Evil 3 Tyrant Room leading to Resident Evil 2, the mannequin jump scare. Security card level 1, the morgue room from Resident Evil 2, get the key that its position is actually randomized and spawns at a different enclosure for each playthrough. That's cool. Get back to the main hall using this shortcut, security card level 2, and make sure that this guy doesn't jump scare you. Use the card on this door, and before calling the elevator, have Natalia help you get rid of these three monsters, then call the elevator. And when these enemies pull up, make absolute sure that this doesn't happen. Barry, just dodge, man. So after redoing the entire section and making it back to the same area, I made absolute sure that that didn't happen. So after Barry and Natalia got on the elevator, we made it to this door that leads to the last boss fight against Alex, which was fairly easy since she was focusing on Natalia the entire time. And when we thought that we finally got rid of her, she woke back up and slapped the living hell out of Barry for the third time. But then Moira pulled up all alive and shit, and as we were running away, Claire pulled up all Sniper Elliot and shit. Then we took turns sniping Alex, then doing whatever Barry was doing. It's a Resident Evil game, so the fight had to end with an RPG that blows shit up. Barry had an Arthur Morgan moment, then the family lived happily ever after, finishing the last episode with an S rank, completely S ranking the entire game. This is the cute beach lady from Revelations 1. So, to answer the question, is it possible to beat Resident Evil Revelations 2 without running or dying and get an S rank? Yes, absolutely. I gotta stop talking like this. I don't think people even get what the joke is.